intervention.
I first thank my constituents from Nunavut for placing their trust in me so that I can rejoin you in my second term in this parliament. I thank the member for Winnipeg Centre for submitting a joint letter requesting this emergency debate as well. I rise today to seek leave for an emergency debate regarding the health and well-being of Indigenous children in Canada. The Canadian government has failed First Nations, Métis, and Inuit children and youth by imposing sweeping new changes to Jordan's Principle and Inuit Child First Initiative applications. Jordan's Principle is a legal obligation directed by the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal to address gaps in health care for Indigenous children. Named after Jordan River Anderson, who died at the age of 5 in hospital because the federal and the provincial governments avoided responsibility for his care. His legacy must be properly honored. How Indigenous children and youth are treated has become a national crisis. The federal government unilaterally made changes without considering the impacts on First Nations and Inuit children, youth, and families. Changes to the requirements to access Jordan's Principle and Inuit Child First Initiative result in keeping First Nations and Inuit children in poverty and less healthy than non-Indigenous children. The backlog of cases is at 140,000 applications for months to Jordan's Principle with no clear plan on how to address this matter. Nunavut worked hard to get ICFI extended, but during the federal election campaign, the Liberals canceled the Hamlet food voucher program for Inuit children and families. This was a very successful program that served over 150,000 Inuit children. No reason was given for canceling this program. This political decision led to Inuit children and families back into situations of poverty. Nunavut has the highest rate of child poverty in Canada at 42% compared to the national rate of 18.1%. It also has the highest rate of food insecurity of any province or territory. Although the population of Nunavut is small, food insecurity in the territories is of concern to all Canadians given the scale and severity of the problem. The NDP and I are seeking an emergency debate so parliamentarians can discuss the sweeping changes made to Jordan's Principle and Inuit Child First Initiative and address the failure of this government to implement the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal's order to Jordan's Principle. I call on you, Okaptitiyi, to ensure the country takes seriously the systemic racism and discrimination towards Indigenous children and families to do your part to demand accountability for Indigenous children. Koyanami.
I thank the honourable member for her intervention on an extremely serious and vital issue. However, I'm not satisfied that the request meets the requirements of the standing orders at this time.